Welcome to the Plant-Centered and Thriving Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kitchens. Welcome back to the Plant-Centered and Thriving Podcast. My name is Ashley.
And I'm Katie.
And we are here today celebrating our 1-year podcast anniversary.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited. We're going to pop some sparkling juice and then cheers that.
Say it works for me as long as it's sparkly.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at those pretty bubbles.
Yay. And then what we're going to do today for you is just answer some business related questions that were asked on Instagram. And then we're also going to answer some rapid fire, like more fun type questions so that you can get to know us a little bit better.
Yes. I love it. We have such an interesting following. You know, our followers come from all different walks of life. So some are nutrition, some are entrepreneurs, some are nutritionists, some are just starting their plant-based journey. So hopefully we'll have a little something for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So the first
Delish.
question is, what made you want to start a podcast? I approached Katie about this. This was obviously a year ago. I was wanting to provide just more resources for people really everywhere. And I wanted more like free resources. I wanted to be able to reach more people in a way that was incredibly affordable, and a podcast meets that beautifully. So that's what we did. I approached Katie with it obviously a little over a year ago. We took a couple months to kind of start interviewing people, get some recordings under our belt, figure out all the like nuts and bolts of putting a podcast together, which was a big learning curve.
A couple hiccups, but we made it.
Definitely some hiccups. Yeah. I think that was the main reason why. Just another resource for people to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And provide that information and inspiration. That's kind of our motto. So hopefully we've done a good job of doing that.
I hope so. All right, Katie, second question.
All right. So what do you think is the most fun and most challenging part of hosting a podcast? What do you think?
Okay, well, I can answer the most fun part.
Okay.
And you can too.
I'll take the other one.
Yeah. So I'd say the most fun part of hosting a podcast is like recording. So interviewing people. I mean, I cannot believe the amount of stories of people transitioning to plant-based or going plant-based, the amount of stories that we've heard.
She's so good at it.
And not just that we've heard and been able to interview, but like other people have heard and have been able to be inspired by. So that has been, I would say, the most wonderful thing is just being able to have a platform for other people to share their plant-based journeys and their plant-based stories with a larger audience.
Absolutely.
Really cool. And doing some research is always fun too. I always learn so much when I research for the stuff that we talk about.
Yes. We're always making our brains bigger.
Yes. Okay. Most challenging part.
The editing process is definitely my most challenging part. And mostly it's because of me. So I'm in charge of editing out all the ums and the likes and the and for me personally, when I'm on the podcast, there's a lot of them. Ashley never does. But so there's one. But in terms of our guests, we've been so lucky. Everybody's been so natural and wonderful, and most of them are a dream. So there's really it's really been a great process. So definitely recommend it to anyone who's interested. But
because at this stage we're still doing everything ourselves. So it's Katie takes more of like, she does a lot of the hard work behind the scenes stuff of doing all the editing and uploading and putting it onto YouTube. So I really appreciate that about her. She is a dream. Okay. How did you and Katie meet? Which Katie, I actually looked up. So Katie was a former client of mine, and I went back into my old email address and looked up when you applied to work with me.
Just like thinking about it.
It was February 22nd, 2019. So 3 years ago, over 3 years ago.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Say Katie was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And then this ray of sunshine came into my life. It was wonderful.
It was we worked together for several months, and it was a wonderful experience. I mean, Katie, as you can tell, it was just really easy to work with her, and she's so open and transparent and vulnerable. So it made my job a lot easier. But we established such a great rapport. And then I honestly can't remember how we transitioned, like
you don't know.
a year and a half later. to like actually working together.
But we kept in touch and we had a couple dinners and
Yep.
she just couldn't get rid of me. I just,
It's true.
she's just one of those people that like, you just cannot get tired of. Like I could hang out with her for hours. She probably can't say the same thing about me. But she's just one of those people that like exudes positivity and sunshine.
Aw.
And for me, I have learned in my 40 years on the planet, that's the type of person that I want to be around. And people that inspire me and motivate me and are positive energy beamers. So that's her to a T for sure.
Yep.
So yeah.
And the only reason I couldn't hang out with you long term is I'm very introverted. And Katie knows this about me. She's always like pushing me to do things because she is so good at that. So I really admire that about her. And she definitely pushes me outside my comfort zone, especially when it comes to like social things.
Yeah.
So
we're a good team. We're a good balance. I
We
think
are.
that's why we get along so well.
yes. All right.
All right. What is or what has been the hardest thing you've had to overcome getting your business to where it is today? Ooh, this is a good one for all you entrepreneurs out there.
This was a really good question. And it actually took me a while to think about the answer because there were a lot of things that were coming to mind. And I even pulled NB in because I was like, I have all these things running through my head about what's been sort of the hardest thing I've had to overcome to getting where I am today. And the more we talked about it, the more I came down to patience as being probably the number one thing that I've had to overcome to get to where I'm at today. And what I mean by that is things take time to build. A business takes time to build. And it's hard, especially when you're first starting out. And this goes for like really any journey, whether you're just starting to work out, whether you're transitioning to plant-based, starting a business. It's like I wanted to be at step 100 when I was at step 1. And it was really frustrating, even seeing other people on their journey, them being so far ahead of me and just feeling like I was behind. So obviously that kind of taps into comparison syndrome a little bit. And I had to do some work around that. But really just wanting to be much further ahead than what I was, but just knowing that I'm putting in the work now so that I can eventually be where I want to be, or so that I can continue to keep growing. So patience, I would say, is the number one thing. And then really working on my relationship with comparison syndrome, which in the beginning was really, really challenging.
Yeah. But no one compares to her. So.
Aw.
Oh, goodness. All right. What's next?
Okay. And if you're just joining us, you can feel free to ask a question on here. We're doing a live podcast recording. And if you have anything that you want to ask, feel free. Nothing's off the table. So it can be anything you want. Okay. Next question is, were you a dietitian first or were you plant-based first? So I actually became a dietitian first. So I went through school eating the standard American diet. This was back in 2012 is when I became a dietitian. And then a few months later is actually when I started my plant-based journey. So that was an interesting experience. And one of these days I'll put up a reel or something explaining more about it. Because as you can imagine, it's hard going to school for nutrition and then you're transitioning to plant-based and you're like, well, I didn't really learn a lot about plant-based eating. So I had to do a lot of research. And that's kind of where I'm at today, but we can talk about that more later.
So interesting.
Yeah.
How did you know when you were ready to hire someone like me?
Oh, yes. So this is another really good question. So in the answer that I came up with is there's really only so much that you can do by yourself when you're owning a business. And there's only so much time in the day, and there's only so much that really you can give to a business as a human being, especially without compromising your life or your partner's life or your friends. And so when I felt like I was maxed out with what I could do, but I also wanted to keep growing, that's when I knew that it was probably time to hire somebody. So when I felt maxed out, felt like I couldn't do it all by myself, but also wanting to keep growing, that was an indicator for me. And also too, I mean, like Katie, I don't know, like saying that you're a good investment is like a bad thing or not, but like, I mean, Katie has freed up so much of my time so I can put my time and energy into other things. And what's great is having somebody else with you alongside your journey. It's like, I can give you things that are your areas of expertise and I can do things that are my areas of expertise. And also too, we can mastermind together. It's just, it's a great thing. So as of right now, we are a team of 5. And is that right? Yes, 5. Yes. because we have 3 other contractors who help us do various things, and they are lovely, lovely women. And they're so, so helpful in the back end parts of our business. So
Yes.
that's it. Okay, y'all.
Did you have a question?
Sure.
Where do you recommend new plant-based eaters to start? What was your first step towards vegan eating?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a really good question. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to answer this.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
So I usually, when we're working with clients, usually the first step is to kind of establish our why. That's kind of one of the big things that we talk about, to just establish kind of a baseline of what is motivating you, what is kind of at the bottom of making this big transition. So like when I first started, some of you guys have heard this story, like I was like, Ashley, I want you to help me lose weight. And when we talk about that, it's kind of a, for lack of a better word, kind of a shallow answer. It's a shallow why. So if I'm struggling, if I have kind of a why that really means something to me, and instead of losing weight, like I want to be more confident, I want to feel better in my body, I want to not have digestive issues, I want to live longer. All of those things are, I can grab onto and hold dear to me, as opposed to something kind of superficial as losing weight. So I always like to start with the why.
Yeah. So like getting really, really deep into your why. Yeah. And for those of you listening on the podcast, the question that was asked was, where do you recommend new plant-based eaters to start? And then the second half of the question was, what was your first step towards vegan eating? And I think that is what Katie said is a great point of like really getting deep on your why. So if like weight loss is your why, like getting really, really deep at the core of like why that is. But then also too, and one thing that we do with our clients and one thing that we recommend is really working on strategy as well.
Yes.
So and this is kind of answers the second part of the question with where did you start? I know when I was first starting out, I would always go back to what I knew, what was familiar to me. I wanted to eat plant-based, but it was like, oh, well, what do I already know? Well, it's eating the standard American diet. So I would kind of flip-flop back and forth between the two. And so developing a strategy. And when I say that, I mean, kind of doing a little bit of like planning out your meals for the week and doing a little bit of prepping can be really, really helpful in that process too. And as much as you can, alleviating that burden on yourself of feeling like you have to do it overnight or have to do it quickly. You can take your time when it comes to going vegan or plant-based eating. There is no rush whatsoever. We hear about people who go plant-based or vegan overnight, and that's fantastic. For me personally, it took me about 3 years to go fully plant-based, because I was really just getting my feet under me and just kind of figuring out, is this the lifestyle that is aligned with me? And it turns out it is, which is fantastic. So that's something that we recommend too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to transition into some more rapid firing questions, some things that are more fun and exciting. So let's start with the first one, and then we'll just kind of flip flop back and forth.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So the first question is pineapple on pizza, and y'all can answer this too. So because some of these are a little controversial. Controversial. Pineapple on pizza. What? Oh, I'm a big thumbs up. That's hilarious.
Get out of here with that. I'm a pizza purist.
Okay, I want to see if anyone else resonates with the thumbs down, because I am pro thumbs up.
All right, a vegan food you were scared to try at first.
I will say many, many years ago, tofu. I was terrified to try tofu because the only thing that I thought of when I thought of tofu was the salad bar that I used to eat off of in college. And that tofu, I'm like, who would eat this? Who would like tofu? I'm like, this is like the worst food on the planet. Turns out I was really wrong, and it's delicious. So that would be mine.
I always say bad tofu is really bad. So you got to have good tofu if you're going to try it for the first time.
Yes.
I think when I first kind of even heard of veganism, it was like many years ago, and the only plant-based milk was soy milk, and it was not good. And so my first interaction with a soy-based product was not good, but love it now. They've come a long way.
Yeah, they really have. Yes. Yeah, there's so many milks out there.
Yes.
Okay. Toilet paper, over or under?
Neither. I don't even put it on the thing.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh. That does not surprise me.
She's going to kick me out of her house for that.
Oh my goodness. I'm not surprised.
Which one are
Over
you?
for sure.
Over.
100%. If
Okay.
anyone says under, I don't know.
How do you and Nick? How do you? I wanted Nick's opinion on that one. So we call that a divided house.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite plant-based milk. Speaking of.
Ooh, like so soy milk is my favorite.
I think I'm a almond milk, coconut milk Thai. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I
Yeah.
also like oat milk.
I know,
I can
oat
never
milk is so
decide.
good. Yeah.
They're all
It is.
good.
Yep. Favorite freezer friendly meal or free meal that you can get out of the freezer.
I gotta go to. I have them in my freezer all the time for like a really easy meal. I love the Gardein Mandarin chicken. I don't know what it is. It's like a sweet sour sauce. Oh my God, I love it.
Yep.
And then just throw some frozen veggies in there with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mwah, chef's kiss.
I feel like mine's gonna be really lame because it's just frozen pizza.
That's not lame. Say frozen pineapple pizza. Oh God.
if that existed, I'd be buying it.
Oh, they don't do frozen pineapple on the pizza, I guess.
No,
Oh,
well, at least
that
not
makes
that's
sense.
vegan and gluten free. So.
Yeah.
Okay, peanut butter or almond butter?
Definitely peanut butter. I buy the big, I have dogs too. So we buy the big, like
Ooh, yeah.
5 pound, 10
Yeah.
pound, bucket.
Where do you get that from? Like Amazon?
Just a regular grocery store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's on the
nice.
bottom shelf because it's so heavy.
Oh my gosh. I would say almond butter for oatmeal, peanut butter for fruit because I
Ooh,
love banana and
yeah,
peanut butter.
good.
Yeah.
Favorite seasonal fruit. So I guess we're in spring, summer.
Yep. Ooh, so I would have to say peaches. I don't think they're quite in season yet for North Carolina, but peaches are my fave.
Yep. Peaches.
Yeah.
We love peaches.
Same?
Yep.
We agree on
absolutely.
something?
Yes, we do. See, we're soulmates after all.
I want to hear what some of y'all's favorite fruits. Oh, peanut butter. Yay.
Watermelon,
Yes.
that's a good one. Oh, I cannot wait for watermelon smoothie season. Yes.
Yes. Agreed. All right.
All right.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
One place you want to travel to for the vegan food scene. Ooh.
Mhm. I got mine.
Do you have yours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go first because I have like a few.
Say, I want to go to San Francisco.
Oh,
yeah.
very
Mhm.
nice.
Yes, I've been to San Diego and it was really impressive. So I think San Francisco would be even better.
Yeah,
I've heard
good.
great things.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I think mine would be London, just because I've
Ooh.
never been to the UK before. And I feel like there's a good vegan food scene. I don't know. I always veg news and plant-based news are always pumping things out that are like London based. I'm like, I really want to go there.
No, we have to go there, remember? Because we were looking at our city stats and we have a very concentrated pocket in this small town
That's
in
right.
Wales.
Oh, is it Wales?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That listens to the podcast. So we have to do I think we should actually, for business purposes, go on a trip.
Yeah.
To go see our fans.
Yes. Well, if you're listening in Wales right now, we really appreciate
We
you.
love you.
Yes. We appreciate everybody, but thank you.
Most impressive mock meat.
Ooh, okay. I'm curious to hear what other people say. Oh, Vancouver. That's a good one. I don't think I've been to Vancouver. That's Caitlin said Vancouver.
I have heard good stuff about that.
Yeah. Most impressive mock meats. All right, y'all. I kind of want y'all to weigh in on this too, because I feel like there's so many options. So what I had heard was that 2020 was the year for like mock beef. Last year was the year for mock chicken. Is that right? And then this year is the year for mock seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say, oh, good. Someone else had been. Okay. Vancouver is also on the list. We'll add that.
I'm happy to go there too,
Yeah.
Ashley.
Okay. I would say I really like some of the sausages that are out there. Some of the mock sausages. I think they're really delicious.
Yeah. I like the kind of the Impossible Burger. I think for someone who's struggling with kind of missing that kind of burger taste, I think that's a great one. So, but we also just had shout out to her, Mercedes. We had some jackfruit tacos, something, I forget the official name.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. So jackfruit makes a great taco.
Yeah. And she gave us like a lot of great tips on how to like make it taste really good. Cause I don't know if you've had jackfruit before where it's like, I don't know if I like this or not, but she said to get young jackfruit, that was really important. And then
Yes,
to
didn't
rinse
know
it
that. Yeah.
like multiple times. I think she said
Mhm.
at least 4 times.
Mhm.
So pro tip, if you're kind of like on the edge of liking jackfruit, that was a great tip from Mercedes. So we appreciated that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Mercedes.
Oh, nice. Yep. More votes for sausages. All right, y'all. I'm loving this. All right. What is your favorite vegan actor or vegan influencer?
Oh goodness, so Betty.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh. I think Ashley's my favorite influencer.
You're
I'm a little biased. But I'm a hardcore Flower child, so I've loved the Beatles forever. So Paul McCartney,
Oh,
not really an actor, but
Yeah.
he's
Oh, yeah.
a celebrity. He still
definitely
counts.
counts.
And he's done so much for the movement and everything.
Yeah.
And, his whole family. So yeah,
Yeah.
Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I feel like I should mention the two obvious ones. I mean, I don't know if they're obvious to everybody, but I'm not big into like the scene. But Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah.
he's definitely been just phenomenal for the movement. And so has Billie Eilish, who like did something with Nike recently. I think I saw this on Veg News where they did like a vegan shoe made out of pineapple, which I thought was
I
really
love that.
fantastic.
We'll have to post that one.
Yeah. And then I think Jared Leto's vegan. I feel like so many people are. You hear about it, you don't really know if they are. I really like him as an actor. So
Yes, we love Jared Leto. Yeah.
all right. What kitchen item is worth spending more money on?
Oh my God, I have so many opinions about this.
I'm trying to think of which is like, all right, y'all, and you can weigh in on this too. What kitchen item, probably that you have right now, was worth the money that you spent on it? We'll answer it that way because that's a good question.
I have two. I can't decide. I can't pick one.
Okay.
So I love my Blendtec, my blender. I've had it for probably 10 years, still going strong. Love it. And then Ashley got me into the fancy knives. What kind of knives do we have?
Oh yeah, Wusthof.
So again, they are not inexpensive, but they are worth every penny because I was using the same knife from like Kmart or something for like 10 years. And I'm like trying to cut veggies. It takes me like an hour to cut like one sweet potato. And now it's just like bam, 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 bam.
Yep.
So worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I think having a good knife in your kitchen is, I was going to say the same thing. I was also going to say my Vitamix, but I've had my same Wusthof knife for I think over 10 years now.
Yeah.
We get it sharpened every once in a while. And I know there are like nicer knives out there, but that was a gift. Someone had graciously gifted that to us and it's been phenomenal. So having a good knife, I feel like is really important.
Yes.
Is there any other things on there? You can read them.
Induction stove and air fryer.
Ooh, yes.
Air fryer.
Air fryer
Can't
is
live
so
without
good.
the air fryer.
Because we were just talking about tofu and you said,
Yeah.
having good tofu is important. And I feel like an air fryer helps make tofu really, really delicious.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many great options with the air fryer.
Yeah.
Also a lot of double down on Vitamix and Blendtex, and also knives are heavily favored here too.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah. Our followers are so in the know. All right. Which vegan dish do you cook best? Ooh, we're gonna have to get Nick to see which one you cook best.
Oh no.
Or which one does Nick cook best?
Yeah. Nick is off camera right now, and off mic. You can't really hear him, but he is present moderating for us. That's kind of a tough question. And now I'm like second guessing on whether or not I'm a good cook. Because really the thing that I cook the most, because I cook it every week, is tofu scramble, but I don't feel like that should count.
It should count because it's so good.
Well, thanks.
And they both make a mean smoothie. I've had both of their smoothies.
That's
They're
true.
really good.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say?
Oh my gosh. I am like a pasta person. So I had this random recipe that's like my favorite. I don't think it is kudos to me or anything, but it's the zoodles. So it's like the zucchini noodles and like a peanut based sauce. And the sauce is killer. So it has peanut butter and sriracha and maple syrup. So again, with kind of the sweet sour, that's just my jam.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put it on regular pasta or zoodles or salad, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I love it. I could drink that stuff.
I love a peanut butter sauce. It is so good. Yeah.
Yes,
Minimalist Baker has some good recipes. There are a lot of great recipes out there.
Yes.
So yeah. Ooh, NB, he voted too. He says veggie pad thai. That is a good one. Yes. Oh, what did I make? Oh, okay. Thanks.
Oh, that was so cute.
That one's a labor of love, but it is definitely worth it. All right, Katie, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I don't know if I talk about it too much, but I actually already, or I have kind of a second love. So I moonlight as a dog trainer at night. So I love training humans to take better care of their dogs. I'm not really a dog trainer, but
very good at it.
So I love that. And let's see, kind of a fun one. Oh goodness. Race car driver. I don't know.
Ooh.
I have a lot of speeding tickets.
Oh man. Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? I'm curious if anybody else can weigh in on this. And MB, I can't think of anything.
I feel like you'd be a good
question.
teacher.
Oh gosh.
Maybe not kids, but adults.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did work in nursing homes for like 7-8 years. And I really did enjoy working with older people, the older adult community. I also wouldn't mind being like trying out like being a professional athlete for a little bit.
She's a beast.
Just to try it. And then I think that would be like enough just to get a taste of it.
You guys have seen the traps. We've all seen them. All right. What is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh, okay. I'll be real with y'all. I do like to watch Bravo TV every once in a while. I don't know if I should tell my secrets. But I might like, and hopefully someone else on here can agree. I do like to watch Summer House every once in a while.
Summer House.
I think it's on Bravo, right? Yeah.
So like real estate?
No, it's like people who live in New York and they go to the Hamptons for for like the weekend on the summers.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably like a little bit of reality TV is my guilty pleasure. What about you?
I always say I don't have any guilt about pleasure.
That's a good answer.
She taught me everything. I'm a brand new person, so we don't feel guilty about anything.
I love that.
This next one's a good one.
Oh gosh. Okay. What is your go-to karaoke song? You go first.
Well, first of all, I think singing karaoke is probably up there as like worst fear. So I think there would have to be many of these involved before I got up on stage in front of people.
But with alcohol, because this is non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah. But I'm a big Journey fan, so I love Journey. So I would love to do like a Don't Stop Believin' or anything like that. Van Halen. Yeah, I love 80s hair band. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm gonna be real with you. I've karaoke maybe 3 times in my life, and I just don't know if I'll ever get up on a karaoke stage ever again.
Oh my gosh, I think that means that we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, you're gonna make me. She's like, I'm forcing you to step outside your comfort zone. This is one of them. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, is that it, or you want to do any other?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think that was a good rapid fire.
Yeah, I think
do you guys know us a little bit better now? Do we divulge enough kind of deep dark secrets?
Is that any
more questions?
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this live podcast recording. The podcast will go up. Our official anniversary is May 5th, right? Somewhere around there. Okay. So we're going to end up launching this podcast very close to that date. If it's a Monday, then great. But I can't remember if it's a Monday or not. So we'll launch it then. So thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you so much for being part of this live. And thank you so much for celebrating with us today. We really appreciate this community, and we just cannot thank you enough. So thank you for being here. And if you like listening to the podcast, we would, of course, highly value your review. So if you would do that for us, we would just greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for all the support. We definitely couldn't have done it. Couldn't have made it a year without all of you guys. So it's been so nice to connect with you, on DM or on Instagram. And some of you have started with us and then turned into guests. So, if you have an interesting story, definitely let us know. We're open to talking with you guys and maybe having you on the podcast. Yeah. You never know.
It's true. We love stories. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you next time. Until next time, keep thriving.